Today we're going to do something a bit different than usual. Instead of hooning around in cars, we're actually going to try and maintain one. Now, the brakes on my MX5 are pretty much shot from the last track day, well, the pads are at least. And what I'm going to attempt to do now is change them for the first time myself. Now, of course, maintaining a car is not very cheap. And a good way to try and keep costs down is, of course, to do things yourself. Now, brakes, I'm sure, is a bit of a concern for most of you, and myself included, because, of course, it's the thing that stops you. That and tyres. While it may seem to be incredibly easy, taking that plunge may be fairly daunting for most of you. So, if I can do it, anyone can do it, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so of course, first things first, we need to remove the front wheel. There we go, those are loose. Now I can jack the car up. I've lost the handle to this guy, so unfortunately it's the trusty screwdriver that has to come into play here. Okay, the wheel's high enough for us to take it off. Okay, so the wheel's off. Put the nuts over there. Okay, now it's time to whip the caliper off, and once we've done that, we can then get the pads, the backing plates off, replace the clips, put the new pads on, grease everything up, and put it all back together. So we need to start with I think it's a 17, is it a 17? And a 14, it's definitely a 14. There we go. 17 and a 14, and you'll find this is why turning the wheel makes it slightly easier. Okay, so you'll find the 14 fits on there, and the 17 goes in here somehow. There we go. Now I need to undo . Stiff, but that's alright. And then you just remove this guy, this bottom bolt, put him somewhere safe because we'll need him later, and we should then be able to start to work the caliper off. This can be quite stuck. Yeah. This one really is. Tough. Oh my goodness. Okay, you can see one of the backing plates has come off by itself. It's alright. Can remove them now. Just need to know which one is the back plate. It's quite easy to spot there with that ring. Okay, why are you so... You can see this definitely needs some grease because it's so difficult to remove. But we're getting there. Remember, when it comes off, don't drop it. Ooh, this really has no grease on it. No wonder that didn't want to come off. Okay, so what I do for this car is just rest it on there, because you don't want to accidentally pull out your brake lines, then you're going to have brake fluid everywhere, and you'll have to pump the brakes, oh sorry, bleed the brakes. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the old pads, then grease everything up. So these should slide out quite nicely. There we go, there's one. The back is slightly, or what I call the back, don't know if it is, the inside one can be slightly more difficult. Okay, so I've got a new brake pad next to my old ones, and you can see just how close, how fine I was cutting it. It was really bad of me, but I knew they were completely shot, so I did go and get myself a new set fairly quickly. But anyway, that's a new one, and that's an old one. Okay, anyway, these are the old pads. We shall throw them over here with the others. New pads, we don't need them just yet. What we need to do now is I've got these clips that are going to be replaced as well. So there's one. There will be 4 of these guys. So one. By no means a mechanic, but so far my methods are seeming to work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these should now replace over there. Okay, so got the parts, I'll put them there. Got the brake calipers, new brake calipers here. Just going to chuck them over there. And then what I'm going to do is use some rubber grease for here, because of course inside there is rubber eye, but there's a rubber ring that goes around here and things like that, so you're going to use some rubber grease for this. We'll put some around here as well, and also on the piston. But first I'm going to do a bit of cleaning of the old stuff, just using some paper towel. Probably not the approved method, but it works. Okay, so I've got some rubber grease. Looks like jelly. Probably doesn't taste like it though, and we're not going to try. Right, so I'm going to grease here, here, and here. Okay, that'll do. Back on top. We now need to put some copper slip in these, not in those, in these. So I'll just wipe off my hands. Why does that not work? In there. That. On here, like that. That. These top ones tend not to stay in place too well, but don't worry. And then this one, let's hope, yes, got it the right way around. Okay, that's slotted in nicely. I'm going to put some copper slip, I'll also clean my hands. I'm going to put some copper slip here, here, and here, and here on these little clips. Help the pads slide in nicely, and then we'll also end up putting some on the back of these guys. Just now. Okay, what I'm also going to do is put this guy back on. I think he went on there, so he needs to go on like that. This is why we need the rubber grease. Okay, champion, that's back on. Now, this is actually going to be easier if these are out. Yeah, so rather do that. These are out, I'll just put them in there. Show you where they go. Not all cars have these, I think. Oh, there we go. You're going to try also not get the stuff on your disc or pads, because you don't really want them lubed up. Okay, so now the pads themselves need to go back in. There we go, they're identical either side, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to put the inside one in first. This one is slightly more difficult to do. Again, turning your wheel will help. I just put the bottom in first, and then they slide in nicely. Check that out. Okay, so put them, of course, straight against the discs. I'll help you put the piston in nicely, because of course remember the piston will have now pushed out a lot further than it needs, because your old brake pads were really thin and your new brake pads are really thick. Ah, there we go. Check that out. Alrighty. 2 brand new brake pads in. Okay, so backing plates. Here are the 2 backing plates. This one is what the piston will press against. So this one goes on at the back like that, and this one will go on here. I'm also going to put some copper slip on here as well. Okay, so I'll do the inside or back one first. So you just put a little bit on. So saying he puts a lot on. When you're a budget mechanicking like I am. Righto. Both backing plates are on. So now I need to put this bad boy back in. But remember, we've got the piston to worry about as it goes over there. So what I'm going to do is get a G-clamp, like so. Again, you can get special wrenches and spanners and things to do this job for you, but I don't have that. So this will have to do. You just got to be a bit gentle. And you'll put the one end on that side, one end on that side, and clamp it in. Okay, so first of all, this needs to slot back in. So in you go there. Just work it in. Remember, this one is not great inside, so the rubber sleeve over. There we go. And I'll work it along. Coming along nicely. Oh yes, much better. Okay, now you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but this is now not going to slide over these. Of course, the backing one came off. Luckily, didn't land butter side down. Okay, put you back on. So I can kind of see that this side is lining up nicely. This side is not though, so I shall put that up there. And then we are going to do this. Okay. Also, once the piston is actually in, it does stay in. Okay. Should now slide over. There we go. Okay. Then you just got to push that guy in. Now everything lines up nicely again. Okay. Everything's in place. Only thing we now have to do is remove that. Hands a bit of a wipe again. The original bolt that now goes back in here, and we tighten this bad boy up. So we need our 17 and our 14 again, 14, 17. There we go. Brake pads are now changed. Just have to put the wheel back on, lower the car, and then go bed the brakes in.